All right, yo, finally, okay. My mic was tripping. I didn't know if the audio was recording. I tried to use a different headset. The audio was recording. The other headset sounded worse than this headset. But now we can actually start the video. Fuck. Okay. What's up, y'all? Hope y'all had a good trading day. Yeah. What's today? Thursday. Yeah. Wrapping up the week. One more trading day this week. Hope y'all had a good week so far. Um, yeah. For me, I feel like my bias was pretty obvious off rip. I just kind of had to wait for it. And let's just get straight into it. I took one trade today. Show the calendar real quick. Oof, gotta log in. For the day, 195, one trade. So like I said in the last video, I did size down. I took the payout on the 20th, and that only left me with like a little bit over $500 of drawdown. So we're just gonna build this balance back up a little bit, and then next week we'll be like actually looking for not big winning days, but we'll go back to regular risk and go for another payout by the end of this month, Lord willing. All right, but let's get into the trade. I'll put this in replay mode real quick. So before the open, I was pretty bullish just off of the fact of like how overextended we are. Um, Go to 15 just so we can see the weekly. If I go on the 15-minute, I'll turn this off real quick. We go, I can delete this middle profile. So here, this is the volume profile for the full week. When we look at where our value area high is, we've been overextended um, from that point since yesterday morning, and we did sell off after we broke that value area high. Only reason we came back above it was the Greenland news or Iceland news, whatever happened. This big old Trump candle, um, this right here. I honestly, a move like this probably would have happened with or without like a Trump tweet candle, like taking out these highs. But this, even if I go on like the 1 minute, that's a fat ass Trump candle. Here it is. Yeah, big old Trump candles. So coming into the overnight session with our overnight profile, I was seeing the exact same thing. We were actively trading above our value area high, and then chopping at point of control, kind of tapped the value area low of the overnight for a little bit, reacted there. You see we extend over value area high here. I would have honestly expected a like stronger rejection back to the point of control, but we're trading at value area high. So for me, going into the open, it just tells me like, okay, we're mad overextended. Let's I'm looking for sales. Despite the fact that we're in a pretty strong uptrend. So if you saw the video I did yesterday, I took a short yesterday. Similar circumstances, but we just ran through it. So this one I was a little bit more tentative to take the short, especially because RTY is trading at all-time highs, and I'm not trying to like call the top. So that was my bias coming into the day. And it was pretty much the same on MES. Let me click through this and I'll show you the MES trade. Actually, it was a no trade on MES, but I'll still show you that. So click through this really quick. Yeah, at the open, we get this impulse candle up. We go into our value area high and immediately reject lower. So I see this rejection and I don't want to jump on it because I wasn't looking for a move during the open. Unless it was like dumb obvious, because RTY will just like pump 20 points in one direction at the open. So I didn't want to be on the wrong side of that. Let this retrace. Let me open this back up too so we can see our opening range. So I kind of just waited and let the opening range establish. I didn't wait the full 15 minutes, but when we put in the high and the low, I kind of assumed, okay, bet that's our opening range. You don't need the last 2 seconds or last 2 minutes, I think it was, to confirm it. So click through here, boom. We get this 3 minute and 2 minute gap. So impulse candle, we get some rejection off of this wick. You try to push again and immediately reject off of the opening range high. failing our value area high on the overnight. So when we put in this 3 minute gap here, I scaled down to the 1 minute and it was lined up on the 1 and the 3. So I was looking for this 1 minute inefficiency to um, fail, which it did. So we got this 1 minute close below. Go back a candle. So I see we're failing value area high. And since like everything else is already kind of set, like we're trading above the overnight profile, we're trading way above our weekly value area high. Um, I was okay with just taking the 1 minute. So I look for this 1 minute. I see like some strong momentum off this candle. Then we invert it on the next. So I set my limit order here, expecting price to retest and just run lower because we're in a 3 minute gap, as you can see. Like this is still the 3 minute gap. Why did it lag like that? Okay. Yeah, we didn't invert the 3 minute gap for obviously another 2 minutes. So when I set my limit order and got tagged in, I was watching on the 3 minute. We flushed through that, immediately hit my break even. This swing low right here. So my stop was at break even at this point, and then I just let it run. So here I was if I run this back, you would see that when I was entering, the point of control was down here. It shifted quite a bit during this trade, so I didn't want to fully target point of control down here, which I could have. And I didn't want to just target the opening range low because I was pretty confident that this would sell off more than it did, but I was pretty confident in the sell off. So I just went down here. I think I was at like 1.6 R or something like that. Yeah, 1.6 R, just kind of in between the two. Like if I were to make this a zone, we're a little bit under the midpoint. Our TP was a little bit under the midpoint of that zone. So let's play again. We get the inversion, tapped in, basically no drawdown. At this point, and at this point, I was thinking like, okay, maybe I could have held longer, but I didn't get an orb confirmation. I'm gonna do a video on how I use the orb because I don't trade the orb as a strategy. I just look at it as like a continuation confluence, and it really is just a mistaught ICT concept. Like it's not supposed to just be, oh, you buy when it goes outside the orb lines and you sell it when it goes outside the other orb lines. Like that's just not real life. Trust me, I blew like 3 accounts trying to do it. Um, but I didn't get like a volume confirmation, like a strong breakthrough this level. You can see this is pretty low relative volume compared to the rest. Or not low relative volume, but nothing serious that's like telling us we're gonna break a key level. So I was actually pretty happy getting out here. As you can see, I could have gotten a couple. Turn my alarm off. Could have got a couple more points, but I would have ultimately ended up getting stopped break even or stopped at 1R or something like that. And also, this leg back up is also a super valid trade right here. Like, this could have been super valid too if you just took this off the candle close, but I did not take that. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty quick trade. I was in the trade for what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Yeah, so $200 in 6 minutes. That's pretty cool. The rest of the day we kind of just ranged, and then I think I think we broke out on the upside eventually. So yeah. So quick note on this indicator I'm using. I made this. It's available in TradingView. I need to update the script because like the default settings and stuff are pretty trash. But functionally it's done. So when I was talking about orb confirmation down here, this indicator will kind of just tell you these little balls, they are getting a high volume breakout, you know. So no, this is not a buy signal. I'm not telling y'all to trade the opening range. This is not a buy signal. This is not a buy. Don't buy way up here, please, please. But it is just good indication of like a high volume breakout. So like if we got that signal down here, I would know like, okay, maybe we can take this down to value area low, you know. So yeah, a quick note on the opening range indicator. It's pretty cool. It just marks out the high low, the EQ, makes some cool overnight lines. But that was my trade today. That's pretty much it. Oh, and let me show you ES as well because ES almost got me. So, let me remove this. I was looking for basically the same setup, but just a little bit too early on ES. So when we got this 1 minute inversion here, let me turn this off so you guys can see better. Let me get this 1 minute inversion right here on this candle. I had a limit order set right here, but we're actually, no, I missed this retest. So actually we close below, we get this retest all the way through, and then start selling off. I had my limit order in at this point, but when we traded into this 5 minute gap, when I missed the retest, and then got that aggressive, yeah, where did it go? Here it is. And then got this aggressive candle up. While this candle was coming up, I just pulled my limit order because I was thinking we're gonna just run through this, but we did. We closed on the other side of this inversion, invalidating it. But if I stayed patient and just did what I did on RTY basically, instead of just switching tickers, I could have stayed on ES, let the opening range high get put in, see what we do from there. Okay, boom, we invert basically the same, not the same 1 minute candle, but we invert at the same area above. Yeah, if I just stayed patient, I could have basically caught the same setup just with a much better reward. So what was I saying actually? Yeah, we inverted this gap here. If I just looked for the retest off of the low, which is exactly what I did on RTY, basically at almost the same time of day too, I could have taken this down to whatever current value area low was. So let's see. I'm in replay mode. No, but what's value area low right now? So we take the inversion above value area high, and let's let this jump flush to value area low. And obviously we could have targeted even more, but I'm not going to be like a hindsight warrior and be like, oh, I could have caught a 1 to 56 R trade. I just did this one simple thing. But if I did stay patient and stay on ES, this would have been, it's the exact same trade, but it would have just paid out better because ES just moves in a bigger range. Same way that NQ moves in a bigger range than ES, RTY moves in an even smaller range than ES. But honestly, that's part of the reason I like it because it just feels. I do need to grow out of this, but it just feels safer to trade RTY because like I don't know, maybe it's just like a um experience thing. I do trade RTY pretty quite a lot, but I do all my back testing and stuff on ES. So technically, I have more data on ES, but I'm more comfortable on RTY. So yeah, that was the trade. Back to the calendar real quick. We logged a winning day. 4 more until our next payout, but I am still sized down for tomorrow and then next week. Maybe we get more aggressive. Not more aggressive. We're just gonna go back to doing what we did to get that first payout. Minus these 2 days because that shit was ass. But end this week green, then go into next week with a bit of a buffer, ready to take a payout. Because I do want my next payout. I'm not stressing going for a max payout right now. But I do want my next payout to be at least $1,000, and then and yeah. All right, that's it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.